I met a gypsy.
But you also got to remember. I know this from personal experience from my sport. Is
Everyone,
that
Brandon's an Olympian, by the way. We haven't really mentioned that yet.
not yet.
You're about to be an Olympian.
But it's just the fact that Eli has been in the shadow of Dungey those whole 4 championships. You got to remember that watching someone you're better than winning every single race or doing better than you every single race, you're faster than that guy, and you're better than him, and watching those guys win championships over you just like boils your inside. So I can only imagine Eli just sitting on the bike just thinking, why hasn't this happened yet? I need to show everyone that I'm better than these guys, and he is better than those guys, and to show these guys, and not just them, the whole world.
Yeah, but it's
because everyone's like amping up Dungey, amping up Villopoto. He's like, dude, I'm better than these guys.
Yeah.
And he finally got to prove that he's a Supercross champion.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna. He could go back to back. Imagine if he goes back to back. It's a very big possibility. And if he does, he gets put in that small tier of riders that got to do it back to back. Because there's only 22 Supercross championships.
So 22 champions.
Champions, yeah.
Yeah.
It's only 22 champions.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's not a lot.
And I don't know how many champions have gone back to back or even got more than one.
Yeah.
But he could be in an even more elite tier as well.
Dude, he's a Hall of Famer for sure.
Dude, 100%.
Like, dude, it's crazy. So his dad, this is what makes Eli Tomac even gnarlier. His dad doesn't get enough recognition. Like, people don't attach like John Tomac to the Eli thing, and in enough capacity maybe. Like, he's kind of just on his own. He stands alone. All of his achievements are on his own, right?
Definitely.
But everything that Eli's done has been in the biggest shadow you could possibly have. Not in moto, but like when you say John Tomac in cycling and mountain biking, it's like saying Ricky Carmichael.
Literally.
And people don't give that. So it's like Kelly Slater having a kid or Conor McGregor having a kid, and then Conor McGregor's kid goes out and is the best fucking mixed martial artist on the planet after you've just had your dad do it.
Yeah.
Like, the pressure. There's nobody on the line in Supercross that has that associated with them. How many kids of super gnarly dudes are complete fuck ups?
Dude,
like all of them nearly? you know what I mean? So like, to have that pressure of John Tomac being your dad, and it might not mean that much to the moto community, and maybe that was skirted around in terms of like the media coverage and the narrative that was around Eli Tomac. But man, going to bed every night as a 10-year-old Eli Tomac, getting up in the morning knowing that your dad was going to train you again, and you were going to go on a cycle bike ride, and you were going to go to the races, and your house is decorated with all of your dad's achievements. Like that, we didn't see all of that. The moto community, that wasn't the narrative, but for Eli, that was the narrative, man.
Yeah.
Like, he was living in this insanely large shadow of his dad. His mum was an Olympic level, she'd track and field or something like that. And that's then cool. His brother's a fighter pilot. You know what I'm like? They have an insane family, dude.
Yeah.
So like, even just the internal pressure of Eli to line up and try and achieve like greatness in the same way that his dad did, man. Like, that's a huge task. And I just, from being a kid, you know what I mean? Like, to try and live up to your parents' expectations would be heavy.
I can only imagine the pressure growing up and seeing John Tomac on the walls, and then all of his friends like, your dad's like,
your dad,
go,
your
dad.
Yeah.
And then like him at the test track on the Cowie, and just people like fans or something just being like, you're great, but Dunge, you're great, but Villopoto, you're great, but XYZ, Cooper Webb, whatever. Imagine like living like that your entire life, and then 2020 rolls up and you're just like, no, I'm going to fucking show everyone that Eli Tomac is Eli Tomac, not John Tomac's son.
Well, like, I think that the sport hasn't really, in terms of the media coverage and the narrative, I don't think that's the thing that people really focus on. I feel like that's probably been like a B-side storyline of Tomac's career. But in terms of, I'd say that was definitely something that
Definitely,
that Eli
yeah.
went to bed with every single night. You
And
know?
you also got to look at it as that what you just said is when he goes to bed, what is he thinking about? And I know 100% Eli's a champion.
Yeah.
That he's not thinking about, oh, I wonder how hard the roadblock ride's going to be tomorrow. I wonder how hard the training's going to be. He's thinking about just like, do I need, like, how am I going to, not only how I'm going to get my point across, but how am I going to implement it for years to come?
Yeah, yeah.
Because he wants people to think he's the best of all time.
Yeah.
Every Supercross racer does. Even athletes like myself, every time I win a contest, I want everyone to know that I'm the fucking best.
Yeah.
And just same in Supercross, where these racers want to go out and win one race and think, you know, they've won the whole championship.
Yeah, yeah.
And they want everyone to remember they've won that one race
Yeah.
for the rest of their life. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But one thing you can do is control the championship. Just be like, look, if I win this championship, people will remember.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're not going to forget a championship, but they'll forget an Anaheim 1 win. Or
Yeah,
they'll-
100%.
You know what I mean? And I think that Tomac has, I think he's won less races last year
Yeah.
than 20,
In the years
2018,
before. I think he won
2019.
10 races and lost the championship.
Yeah, isn't that? I think they were saying that he's won the most races without a championship. Without a championship.
Yeah, he's like fucking Happy Gilmore when he's like, I was the only guy to ever take off one of my skates and stab someone with it. It's like, that's a record you don't want.
No, definitely. And
Dude.
also, like, when you think about, like, for me, when you mention Eli Tomac, I just think about just like the ride he put on in Salt Lake City in 2017 against Dungey, and they both had red plates, and when the gate dropped, it was just like whoever finished in front of who kept the red plate. And I think it was like that was the third race of the third to go, the third last race of the championship, and I think he got a bad start. He was in like 20th or something. Dungey was leading, and dude, Tomac just like was on, just going. We all know like just that, but just going on the rev limiter, going, like not taking people out, but passing him fairly, squarely, showing him that he's the fastest guy. And then when he finally got Dungey, I was just like, here we go, we're gonna win another championship. But then I think the second to last race was Fort Lauderdale.
Nah, are you talking about New York? When it was
yeah. And then he crashed in the whoops. And
then he crashed again.
Yeah. And I was just like, Tomac's going to win this championship. He just needs to stay on his bike, and then that happens, you know?
Yeah.
I think if Tomac were to give that same thing every single race, there's no point to prove that's the guy.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.